The story begins in a futuristic prison where a show called Mafia is being broadcast. As the show starts, the Game Master explains the rules to both the players and the audience. There are 11 players in the game, 9 ordinary people and 2 Mafia gangsters, but no one knows who is who. The civilians' goal is to identify and eliminate the Mafia, while the Mafia must pretend to be civilians and survive until the end. Every day, the players vote on who should be removed from the game, and the chosen player is actually killed in the way they fear most. Drones controlled by the Game Master take the selected player to their death each night. Whoever survives until the end wins a reward of $1 billion. If the last round leaves 1 civilian and 1 Mafia, the Mafia automatically wins. Next, we see a highly advanced room where all the players are gathered. A drone arrives and marks a special tattoo on each player's wrist, revealing whether they are a civilian or a Mafia. The Game Master begins introducing the players. The first is Luca, an 85-year-old billionaire who looks far younger thanks to advanced medicines and chemicals. In reality, he's a professional gambler who made his fortune through betting. Now, he has come to gamble with his own life. At home, his grandchildren impatiently await his death, unaware that Luca has written in his will that if he dies in the game, they will inherit nothing. The next player is Ile, a 38-year-old engineer suffering from terminal cancer with only 3 months to live. He joins the game to secure money for his family before he dies. His wife desperately tries to stop him, wanting him to spend his last days with the family, but Ile refuses. Then we meet 2 more players, Butcher and Ivan, who are prisoners brought from a government program allowing inmates to participate. If they win, they gain freedom instead of money, which goes to the government. The Game Master stops introductions and asks the players to reveal their identities. Everyone swears they are civilians. Then, they are given 10 minutes to choose who among them will face death first. Outside, friends and family watch nervously on TV. In the first round, Constantina doesn't vote, but Mary chooses Killian, and Peter agrees. Butcher realizes he has seen both Mary and Peter on TV before. It is revealed that Mary is a 24-year-old famous ballet dancer, and Peter is her biggest fan. Mary had once suffered a terrible accident during a storm, leaving her legs badly injured. Doctors said she would never dance again. Since then, rain and lightning have terrified her. Advanced surgery could give her prosthetic legs, allowing her to dance again, but it costs a fortune. Mary joined the game to get the money, and Peter joined to help her, having sold countless things over the years to support her. Seeing this, the other players assume Mary brought a supporter, so they choose her first. Peter tries to intervene, shouting that she's a civilian, but time runs out. Mary becomes the first victim of the game. A civilian tattoo on her wrist confirms she was indeed a civilian. Her chair moves toward a large black sphere on the ceiling. Bound to the chair, Mary passes out as she faces her greatest fear. She finds herself trapped in a dense forest on a dark night. A violent storm begins and lightning strikes, chasing her toward a cliff. To escape, she jumps from the cliff but is struck by lightning midair, killing her instantly. Her body disintegrates and is absorbed into the black sphere. The Game Master announces that the first night has passed, and drones hover over the remaining players to search for the next victim. This time, they all choose Butcher. Furious, he shouts at everyone before his chair flies into the black sphere. Afterwards, we see a psychological test done on him before the game. The psychologist asks him several questions, but Butcher didn't answer much at first. He said he wasn't afraid of anything, and later added that he didn't want to act like a fool among a group of fools. Soon his final moment in the black sphere began, and he found himself in a terrifying pit of death. 2 strong wrestlers appeared, and the audience immediately started shouting for a brutal fight. The wrestlers began beating Butcher mercilessly, tossing him around without giving him a chance to defend himself. But suddenly Butcher grabbed some dirt from the ground and threw it into one wrestler's eyes, then attacked them with a bottle. He kept striking relentlessly, finally knocking one wrestler out. The second wrestler pushed him back, but Butcher didn't stop. Using whatever he could find on the ground, he attacked again and broke the other wrestler's bones, finally killing him. However, the wrestler kept coming back to life repeatedly. After multiple strikes, he didn't return again, and Butcher's fellow prisoners watching live applauded, making him feel like he would finally be free. But as he stepped back, his foot slipped, and a metal rod on the ground pierced his head, killing him instantly. Meanwhile, Peter, still angry over Mary's death, muttered that Butcher deserved the same fate. The Game Master then announced it was time for the next vote. This time, players had only 8 minutes. Suddenly, Constantine declared that he knew who the Mafia was. We then learned that since childhood, Constantine could foresee the future. He always knew when he would fail a test, which girl would betray him, and other details. People started calling him the Black Messenger, and as he grew older, he appeared on psychological shows and even advised the government during wartime. His biggest fear was dying as an old man. Constantine claimed that Peter was the Mafia. Peter asked why. If Constantine knew everything, he allowed Mary to die, even though she was a civilian. Constantine replied that he wanted all the money for himself and didn't want to share it with any civilian. Believing Constantine was the Mafia, Peter voted for him. Elaine and Laura also voted for Constantine, but the rest of the players voted for Peter. It turned out Peter was actually a civilian, so Constantine had lied. Next, we see Peter's psychological test. He claimed he feared nothing except losing Mary. But when the psychologist forced him to think, Peter remembered that as a child, he had been afraid of water. When his chair moved into the black sphere, he faced his greatest fear. Peter found himself alone in a small boat in the middle of the sea. He started rowing toward an island, but suddenly, a hole appeared in the boat. While trying to patch it, he cut his hand, and his blood mixed with the water, attracting sharks. Panicking, Peter rowed harder, killing one shark with an oar. Other sharks came to feed on the dead one, and Peter used that chance to jump into the water and swim toward the island. Suddenly, he realized the island had vanished. Sharks reached him and were about to devour him. In that moment, Peter felt Mary's spirit was coming to take him. He smiled and took his last breath. Before night fell in the game, the players got another chance to vote, this time with only 6 minutes. And this is when we meet the next player. Walter, a 45-year-old military officer, had fought many wars for his country, but nothing had prepared him for the challenges he faced now. He had joined the game to let fate decide whether he should live or die. During a past battle, he had made a grave mistake that led to the deaths of many young soldiers. On TV, he had seen Ivan's case and mistakenly accused him of being a killer, which haunted him deeply. Ivan, an ordinary student, had once been out drinking with friends. Their car was speeding when they crashed violently, killing 2 of his friends. Ivan and the driver survived thanks to a woman on the road who saved them. But during the court case, the other boy's parents falsely accused Ivan of driving. He was sent to prison, and his greatest fear became dying there. In the game, Ivan insisted he was innocent and had been wrongly punished. He also mentioned to Laura that he had seen her somewhere, but she claimed they didn't know each other. Then Laura accused Walter of being the Mafia, and Walter retaliated by calling her the Mafia. A heated argument followed, but eventually Walter voted for Laura, and Laura voted for him. Soon, Luca, Ivan, and Ile also voted for Walter, making him furious. When Constantine also voted for Walter, the majority had been reached, sealing his fate. Later, it was revealed that Walter was actually a civilian, meaning both Mafia members were still in the game. When Walter's chair moved into the black sphere, he relived the moment of his biggest mistake. He tried to warn his soldiers of an enemy attack, but it was too late. Enemies surrounded his team, and they began dying like insects. The walls around him disappeared, and more enemies attacked relentlessly. Walter fought back, firing wildly, but seeing his soldiers die and the walls vanish, he realized his end had come. The enemies finally gunned him down. As night fell in the game, it was time for the next victim. The drones chose Laura, and her story unfolded. Laura had a good home, a stable job, and a happy family, but she fell into addiction, spiraling out of control. She ignored her husband's help, lost her son, and was eventually left alone. She admitted that her greatest fear was heights. Laura hadn't stepped outside her home for 8 years, but one night she was near the street when a terrible accident occurred. It turned out that she had saved Ivan and his friends' lives, but the boy's parents forced her to give false testimony in court. Ivan was shocked, but forgave her, as the truth about his innocence was now clear. Laura was also revealed to be a civilian. As her chair moved toward the black sphere, Laura told Ivan she would wish for his survival. Inside, she found herself on a plane heading straight for a terrifying black storm. The storm attacked, causing severe damage, breaking parts of the plane, and the ceiling began to collapse. A flight attendant came to help her seatbelt, but darkness engulfed her, and the plane fell apart. Laura ultimately plummeted to her death. Players were then given 4 minutes to choose the next victim. Constantine immediately named Ivan, starting a debate. Elaine suspected that Kieran and Kate knew each other. Kieran accused Constantine of being mafia, while Ivan voted for Elaine. Conflicts grew among the players. Constantine, Elaine, and Luca voted for Ivan, while Kate and Kieran voted for Constantine, and Ivan voted for Elaine. According to the rules, the player with the most votes would face the Black Sphere. During a revote, Luca switched his vote to Constantine, and the others stayed the same. In a shocking moment, Constantine voted for himself, the first time anyone had done that in the show. It was then revealed that Constantine was the mafia. When he entered the Black Sphere, he saw himself descending a staircase. Suddenly, a man bumped into him and called him Grandpa. Hearing this word filled Constantine with anger. Constantine started coughing heavily, and suddenly several mirrors appeared in front of him. In them, he saw himself aging rapidly. Each step down the stairs became harder, but when he reached the end, he began laughing loudly. He admitted that he had cheated, but the truth was, he wasn't afraid of dying from old age at all. In fact, he considered it the most beautiful way to go. As another evening fell, the drones selected the next player, Ivan. It was soon revealed that he too was a civilian. Seeing him go, Kate's eyes filled with tears, but Ivan said he felt no sorrow in dying because it had been proven that he was innocent. Before leaving, he told his mother he loved her deeply and apologized for not being the perfect son. Inside the Black Sphere, he found himself in a prison where guards were taking him to his death. In his mind, he imagined being on a beach with his mother, but then the guards shot him dead. Now, only 4 players remained, one of whom was the mafia. They had just 2 minutes to vote, and soon arguments broke out. Elaine claimed Kieran and Kate were boyfriend and girlfriend. Kieran, a young man, had joined the game on a dare. The day before the game, he had met Kate and, for some reason, immediately trusted her, sharing all his secrets. He admitted he feared heights, deserts, and dreams, and that he had grown up in an orphanage, always afraid no one would protect him. Neither of them knew they would meet again in this deadly game. Time ran out, and the computer selected Kate. As her chair moved into the Black Sphere, both Kieran and Kate found themselves standing on glass floors, with a violent storm raging around them. Each step risked breaking the glass. Kieran ran to Kate, and together they dashed forward, but the glass beneath them shattered, dropping them into a black desert. There, they spotted a triangle of light on a cliff and decided to follow it. As they advanced, the cliffs behind them turned into giant snakes that chased them. Suddenly, a terrifying monster appeared, Kieran's greatest fear, losing Kate. He told her to hide while he attacked the monster with stones. When the monster entered the triangle of light, its body began to burn. Kieran spotted a second triangle hanging around its neck, climbed up, and stole it. Using that triangle, he redirected the light, burning the monster to ashes. Ahead, they saw a stone with carved faces, one eye holding a triangle. They placed the monster's triangle into the other eye, and a path appeared leading straight to a house. Upon entering, Kate realized it was the orphanage where she had grown up. She had seen her mother leave her there, and had always feared knowing why her parents abandoned her. Kieran reminded her that it wasn't her fault. Suddenly, everything around them shattered, and they found themselves standing before the Game Master. This meant only 1 civilian and 1 mafia were left in the game. Before declaring the winner, an ad played. The Game Master revealed that Constantine had been working for him, and that he had been using Kieran and Kate to finish the game. He explained that they were still trapped in the dream, but the audience was tired of seeing players die. So he decided to show Kieran and Kate's love instead. The Game Master thanked them for participating, released them, and sent them out of the show. Later, Eli returned home and revealed to his family that he was the last mafia standing and had won the game. He survived 10 months instead of the predicted 3. Luca also survived but received no money, so he disinherited his grandchildren and donated his entire fortune to Kate's orphanage. Meanwhile, Ivan's mother received flowers for her son every day, showing that the entire country mourned his death. Not just her. Would you dare to play a game like this? Let us know in the comments.